Welcome back. It's been a little while since my last video. I apologize, I have not had the time to spend a lot of time on editing and uploading and things like that. I have kids and work and family stuff going on, so it's been very hectic. Plus the weather's been crappy, so I haven't been out and doing much. It's been roughly 2 months since I brought home this beautiful 2015 GTS, and I thought I would give a quick update on a couple things. One is that this car has been phenomenal. In the times that I've driven it, and I've put maybe about 2,000 miles since I picked it up. I did break the 10,000 mile mark just a couple days ago. Although I picked up the car with 8,026 miles on it, I put about 1,300 miles driving back from Florida to Pennsylvania the weekend I got it. And then since then I've put on, additional mileage that got me over 10,022 miles. So it's been awesome ever since I brought it home. The previous owner took great care of this car, I can tell. They had it nano coated, and I've washed and detailed it a couple times now, and it's the body's been perfect. I've probably been doing more damage to this thing by driving it up in these in this part, in the Northeast. The roads are really crappy. There's a lot of gravel and stuff on the roads. Anyway, so I love the car, handling, dynamics, the engine, everything's perfect. Have no issues up until a couple days ago. So I thought I would just talk about that for a minute. Basically, I was driving. I had a 45-minute spirited drive on just some back roads around here, having some fun on a beautiful day. And everything was perfect. I'm pulling into my neighborhood and I get a warning on the multi-display. And basically it tells me that the PADM, which stands for Porsche Active Dynamic Mounts, was disabled. And it was able to, it also told me that I could drive on. It wasn't a yellow or a red notification. For those that have the 991s with the multi-display in it, the multifunction display. If you see yellow, that's usually okay. You need to get something looked at, but you're not in any danger of damaging the car typically. But if you get a red multifunction display message, then you should stop driving the car immediately and all that stuff. This one was neither of those. It wasn't yellow or red. It had the warning signal, but it was just black and white. And it basically just said PADM disabled. It didn't say fault or error or anything like that. And it said driving permitted, whatever that means. I guess I took it to mean that I can drive it as normal. So I was cautious. I checked it out, started and stopped the car a bunch of times when I pulled in, and couldn't figure out that didn't notice that there was anything really significant that I had to worry about. And I did some research into the Active Dynamic Mounts. There are 2 of them in the GTS that I have. The GT3 had them. I think that was the first car that had them. Any car with, I think, Sport Chrono as an option has them. When you look at the mounts from outside, if you look at the drawings of them, and in the parts catalog, between cars that have active mounts and cars that don't have active mounts, they look identical parts. There's just a small difference with some wires going into it. But anyway, so in my research, I found that there have been failures of the active dynamic mounts. The active feature is electromagnetic in nature. There's electromagnetic fluid with metal particles in it that you apply a charge to, and the electromagnetic field or a magnetic field causes them to line up and stiffen up till almost rock hard, so that in spirited driving on the track or anywhere when you have Sport or Sport Plus on, it tightens up to keep the engine from moving in the chassis and moving in the frame and so on, which at the time they rolled this out, it was revolutionary. They won all sorts of, Porsche won all sorts of awards for this technology that they built into the 991 chassis and into the engine mounts. And apparently, if you don't have these active dynamic mounts, you give some percentage of movement of the engine within the car, which affects the handling characteristics. I'm probably getting it all wrong there in how I describe it, but that's the gist of what I understood.
The car features dynamic engine mounts. The electronically controlled system minimizes vibrations throughout the entire drivetrain. The stiffness and damping performance of the engine mounts is adapted to changes in driving style and road surface conditions. This is achieved through the use of a fluid with magnetic properties and an electrically generated magnetic field. The results are greater and more uniform drive force at the rear axle, increased traction, and faster acceleration.
And they can fail. I've read a couple articles that there have been failures completely, and then there are a couple other articles that there was a glitch or bug maybe in the software, and then there's also the possibility that it's just an electrical issue. Now, the good thing is with the 991, when you take off the rear bumper cover and you can see the rear of the engine, basically all you see is the air boxes for the air filters for the engine, but right on either side of that, on the left and right, there are two engine mounts. Those are in this car, the PADM, or Active Dynamic Mounts. So if I take off this rear bumper cover, which I'm going to do, I should be able to see them right there, plain as day in front of me. I will do a visual inspection of them. You can see the electrical connector. I will check that and make sure that it's nothing serious, anything that I can see. Maybe it's just I need to clean them and reconnect them. If it's something that I don't, if I can't get the message to go away just by taking a look and filling with the connectors, I'll just take it back to the dealer. I hate going to the dealer for all these little things, but that might be a serious one. If they have to replace the part, my understanding is each active dynamic mount is roughly about $1,300 US. So $2,600 for the pair of them. And good thing there is, that sounds like a lot. Good thing is I wouldn't be paying that. This car is a CPO car. I believe the CPO warranty for things like that runs through 2020 or 2021. So I'll be covered either way. So I'm going to see if I can get the cover off in a few minutes here. I will show you all what I see when I pull off the bumper cover and take a look at those mounts. And I'll explain a little bit more about how they work, in pointing at them. I'll also include some diagrams and drawings and some other links to technical articles on the active dynamic mounts for those that are interested. I don't think it's something that I would replace myself even if I could. Again, this is a warranty car basically, so I don't think I would mess with them. I believe the non-active mounts, there are replacements you can buy from RSS and some other suspension shops, and that's always interesting to look at too. I'm not looking to really change anything here, but from the position of these mounts, I'm thinking that this is not a major job to replace. I'll look again, and maybe there's programming involved, I don't know. But my main purpose right now is I have this annoying, every time I start the car I get this warning signal. Again, it's not yellow, it's not red, it just says PADM Disabled and driving permitted. So I'd like to get rid of that because as soon as I start the car it's flashing me in the face. I usually just hit the info or the stalk and it goes away, but it's always there. If there is something more serious wrong with the active dynamic mount, I'd like to get that taken care of before I do take it on some more spirited drives and find out there's an issue if it's not functioning properly. So that's it for now. I'm going to get the car up and get the rear bumper cover off, and I'll talk more about what we're looking at. So when I start the car up, this is the message I get. Pardon the open frunk. It's not a yellow or red, it's just gray. It does say driving permitted, so I've been driving it. Service required, obviously. I think that's probably, if nothing else, to reset the computer. But I'm going to pull off the bumper cover and take a look and see if it's something that I can identify. I'm hopeful that this is just an electrical connector that's a little bit loose, or a wire that's loose, and nothing more than that, and maybe just something that was a temporary little glitch that simply starting the car and stopping it and so on can't clear it out. Maybe there's something that you can only do with the PWIS tool. But so that's the message. Got the back off and air cleaner boxes. I had these off recently to do to replace the original equipment filters with some BMC performance filters. I did that, but really what I wanted to get to here was right there and right here. Actually, that one's more harder to see than this one. So let me move the camera around, see if I can give you some better idea of what I'm looking at. So here is let me see if I can do this. The light's a little off in here, so it's a little harder to see. Sorry about that. So what I'm looking at, I probably try to pick this up so you can see it a little differently. So what I'm looking at is right here, inside here, there's a electrical connector, and there's the engine mount right there. It's behind this piece. There's a couple cables going in. There's a vacuum line right there for the exhaust flaps, I think. So it's a little harder to see this one. I was hoping I could see it better. And then this is the other one, and it's much easier to see. There's one connector right here. And actually, I can see down here in the part number on it. So, you know, looking at them, oops, sorry about that. Let's see if I can get in there a little better. Yeah, so you can see it in there, but just from a visual inspection, they both look pretty sound. I don't see any indication that there's any kind of issue with the actual part itself. Make sure the connector's on properly. Look on the other side. There's a lot of additional wires and stuff hanging right here. There's a wiring harness junction right here that has a whole bunch of stuff stuck to it. No idea what those are. The big heavy plastic pieces for the air box or for the air filters is right here blocking a lot of this too. Let's see if I can find a flashlight, or I'll use my phone. There we go. So again, these are the two engine mounts, the Active Dynamic Mounts. It's made by a company, it looks like there's a label on it, says made by a company called BW Group or BI Group, BWI Group. And this one looks okay. I mean, there's nothing here that shows me that there's an issue. I don't see anything. Let's look on the other side. This one, same thing. Yeah, it looks like that label says BWI Group. 0907 maybe is when it was, I don't know, the 0907 doesn't sound like a good date for it to have been built. But the part number's on it, I can see that. 991-375-05908. And I think that last 08 is what designates the car's options. This has a GTS with PADM Sport. And okay, well, I guess my quest to figure out if there was an issue with the connectors is fruitless. What I was hoping to find was one of the active mounts electrical connector was coming off or something. You know, I guess I could try to pop this one off and reseat it. It's just a little tension mount or a little clip mount. I'm gonna have to get a screwdriver to pop that. It's a heavy duty connection. But that's it. I guess what I'll have to do is try starting the car up again, resetting things, and then may have to take it to the dealer. We'll see.